There's a kind of magic to making memories, to finding time for the little things and the big things, the new things, and the things you'll do over and over again. It's the magic of a job well done and a well-deserved day of rest, of living life to the fullest with the people you'd never want to live without. Fareway, closed on Sunday, open for life.
Iowa Fireworks Farm is Iowa's largest fireworks store. 6,000 square feet of hand-picked fireworks, over 50 brands and 1,300 different products to choose from. But they're also family-owned and operated. Iowa Fireworks Farm is the one stop you need to make before July 4th. You'll find them just south of the Metro. Take I-35 to exit 43 at New Virginia. Head east and look for the Big Red Barn. At Iowa Fireworks Farm, the toughest part will be deciding what not to buy.
Eric Church Free the Machine Tour. Live at Wells Fargo Arena, Saturday, September 27th. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss with special guest Marcus King Band. Get tickets now at highvtix.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. For more, visit ericchurch.com.
Two guys, two Chris's, one network. Iowa Everywhere. It's time for Two Guys with Chris Williams and Chris Hassel. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery from the Channel Seed Studios. Where? Everywhere. Live and always on demand at Iowa Everywhere.
It's June the 9th. Welcome to Two Guys. It's Chris and Chris here on Iowa Everywhere. I believe it's a month from today I will be at Big 12 Media Days.
Really? Okay.
Does that even seem possible?
And that's, you said it's in Dallas again, right?
Yeah.
And then Big 10 Media Days, a couple weeks later in Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting there.
It's sneaking up on us, baby.
We're getting somewhere.
This has been the, other than this house settlement story, it's been as dead of an off season as I can remember in a long time, which is really good. We'll take it.
You think so?
Yeah. No COVID.
I guess I don't see it that way because there's so many questions that are having to be answered right now. Because you have the house settlement stuff, the NIL stuff, the playoff stuff, all happening at once. I get that nothing's completely been decided yet other than the house settlement, but it just feels like
it's not like
there's
house
new
on fire.
information every single day. Like what happened in years past that...
Well, you got to realize I'm going off of like realignment. Like those are massive.
Well, yeah, but that didn't happen last year.
But that happened like a lot of different years in a row. With the it happened.
Yeah, I mean, you had Oklahoma, Texas one year. You had the Oregon and Washington and USC.
That Pac-12 Big 12 thing happened over like 2 years. Like that felt like it just was every offseason that was a thing. We had the NIL one year.
Well, but we still have NIL.
1 year.
We're still dealing with that shit. And it's even worse now. It
doesn't feel like everything's on fire like it was. At least it's like, okay, well, we're going to try and put this sumbitch out.
Yeah, try is the key word because I still think it's going to be on fire.
Well, we'll talk about it. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Fareway Meat and Grocery, where we each got meat boxes over the weekend from Heartland Steak Company.
Oh, you got one too?
Oh, yeah. I must say,
thought it was just me.
The handballs. Have you made the handballs yet?
I'm not going to be making the handballs.
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to be making those.
We did the handballs. So my wife made the handballs.
So you see this beautiful box of meat. All the great stuff in there. Steaks, pork, brats.
They give you a grill guide that teach you how to do it, Hassel. So
And you
get
go
off
for
your
the
ass.
ham balls?
Well, the wife did for Sunday dinner, which was lovely. And she was like, "Oh my God, this is a game changer."
What is?
These pre-made ham balls that Fareway will do for you. at
Dude,
the
you
meat
just, okay, you finally got me to maybe try the skinless brats.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going all in on ham balls?
Oh God, they're so good.
That's, oh.
Got like the brown sugar coating on the outside
Oh.
limbs.
No,
Just
no.
fantastic.
So how do you prepare the ham ball? You said there's brown sugar on the outside
you
of
can
them?
do whatever
What is
your
it, a
recipe.
dessert?
It's like a glaze. It's like a honey, brown sugar, ketchup, mustard, kind of a mixture.
My wife did some sort of a deal. It's kind of like a ketchup-y type thing.
Oh.
It was fantastic. I should have taken pictures
Like,
and sent it to you.
what's the side dish with it?
Mashed taters.
So you just put these balls, like meatballs, on a plate?
It's ground ham.
Oh.
It's like ground beef, but ground ham.
It's so good.
It is very good.
Man, Elise just ate the hell out of it last night, too. She's not a big meat eater, and she was just crushing it.
Williams, how can people save $25 on a meat box?
It's pretty simple. You can go to heartlandsteakco.com, and you can use the promo code DAD25 to get $25 off any order of $175 or more. Give Dad the gift of flavor. I had the skinless brats, the cheesy ones, on Saturday night that they sent to us.
So I'm happy that I have the skinless brats now. I am going to give them a try. I was happy to see those in there. I think they only sent me one just plain regular skinless brat. The others
really?
have like
'Cause
flavors.
I had like 10, so they must know that I really like them.
Well, I'm saying what of the no flavored ones?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were saying. Yeah, no, I have. They sent.
So what were
a
the
bunch
other
of
ones?
different-
Bacon cheddar and jalapeno cheddar?
Jalapeno.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try these skinless brats because I am interested. They do look pretty good when you
You're gonna
grill them
love
up.
them.
It doesn't sound right, but they look pretty good. But I'm going to try the regular ones first and just eat them like a regular brat.
Mm.
Put mustard on there. Maybe some relish.
I'd smother myself with brown mustard and relish.
I do think I might like the jalapeno ones too. I mean, I like a little spice.
I'd be so delicious.
Spice is
I did
nice.
some Fareway chicken. We did the chicken thighs on the grill last night, and
Oh.
I actually used herbs from my garden in the
Wow.
in the marinade. So look at me.
Van Gardner.
Yeah, going
We don't
green.
make anything that has a bone in it.
You know what you need to
Oh,
do,
the,
Maddie? You
the
need
thighs
to
are
call our,
boneless.
call our
Oh,
friends
yeah?
over at Channel C. Maybe they get you some corn to put in the backyard.
Yeah, maybe next
Think
year.
about that. Hey, Pouch. Van Woke needs corn seed.
I'm just really impressed with how far
Van Woke's gonna have all this
Fairway
corn
has
just-
long in 2 years because I mean, how
Heartland
long did
Steak
it
Co.
take for me to get the original meat box? And what you mentioned, this meat box could be in the mail last week, and it just boom at the doorstep.
You know, the older I've gotten, I've realized the power of under promising and over delivering.
Yeah, it's a good way to go.
My first real boss in this industry gave me that lecture one time, and I never forgot it.
You definitely don't want to overpromise because
Yes.
then you're gonna. It's just like somebody hypes up a movie or a show so much, and it's just almost, if you haven't seen it, it's almost impossible for it to live up to these expectations
That's why I didn't like Shawshank Redemption.
because people said it was the greatest movie of all time.
Ross
And you're like,
Peterson and Andrew
"Yeah,
Downs,
it's good."
all they did was talk about, oh my God, it'll change your life. And it took me about 4 years, and I finally watched it, and it was a good movie. It was kind of like my Garth Brooks concert.
The
Really
same
good
thing,
concert, but it wasn't as good as I had envisioned it would be.
So I had a similar experience with movies. They were which movies were they? The Princess Bride and
Never seen it.
Goonies.
Never seen that either.
So those two movies, I kept hearing people hype these movies up. People that are my age and older hyping these movies, like Andy Fales was one of them, said that these movies are great. You gotta watch them. So about 10 years ago, I watched those on back-to-back nights, and it was probably the worst weekend of my life.
Very underwhelming.
Horrible movies.
Yeah.
Horrible. Like, those are two of the worst movies I've ever seen.
And the problem
Goonies
with those,
and Princess Bride.
I'm guessing this don't live up well with time either. So if you're watching it for the first
They're
time,
kids' movies.
Yeah.
Like, fine. Okay, you saw it when you were 10, great. You probably loved it. But it's not a movie for a 30-something guy to watch for the first time.
I'm never going to watch them. I refuse to.
Yeah, you'd hate him.
I have way more important things to do.
Like? Oh, I heard what's going on this weekend. I was listening to Williams and Bloom last night. You have to do a daddy-daughter dance on Father's Day?
I have to get on stage.
What kind of torture is that? Why would they
Is that
ruin
on
your
Sunday?
entire
Is that
Father's
on
Day?
Father's Day? I'll be there Sunday, So will I be able to witness this dance?
Yeah.
I
gotta
didn't
do
get
it
invited
twice.
to this dance.
I got two of them I got to do. I have two daughters dancing, and they're in two separate recitals. So
How much of the day,
Pretty
supposed
much
to be
the-
your day, is this going to take up?
pretty much the entire day I will be
This
at
is-
dance recitals.
This is an angry single woman who put this together. No doubt in my mind. An angry single woman.
Like one of those just like raging feminists that
Yes.
just hate men.
You know what I'm going to do? We're going to put this on Father's Day. We're going to make these dads. What, they want to sit home and drink beer and watch the U.S. Open? No. You're going to be
Wait,
here
the U.S.
dancing.
Opens next weekend?
Think so.
Son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
Not good, brother. Not good.
I was just looking at the NASCAR schedule, and I was like, it's a road course. I can DVR that. Yeah, we're gonna be there all day. Maddie's daughter's so they'll be at one of them. At least I can hang out with Maddie for one of them. But yeah, the dance recital is lovely when your daughter's on the stage because it's fun. But the problem is your daughter is only on the stage for like 4% of these recitals,
and you have to stay through the rest of it?
and then I have two of them because she's in two separate ones. So like I'm literally gonna be there from like noon until 7:00 at night.
You know, you should ask for one thing for Father's Day. No more daddy-daughter dances. We can, you know what? You want to dance? We'll dance in the house. We'll dance in the garage. That's going to be your daddy-daughter dance. We'll stay at home.
Well, Williams is a thespian, so he, the stage calls him.
Yeah, I gravitate to the stage, the theater.
I can't believe you guys and your dances. I know a guy. Well, it's Dave Zavolinsky in Omaha. He's got a daughter in these things, and I was there for March Madness one year, and he had to leave in the middle of March Madness on a Saturday, drive like 45 minutes to watch his daughter do some kind of recital. They charged
Dave did that.
They charged like $40 for the parents to get in.
You know what really chaps my ass is, so they don't let you record it because it's part of the business model, which I understand.
They don't let you record it either?
No, but the problem is you have to buy these like $20 like DVDs if you want to play.
Here's the hack:
And
you go
I'm sure
to the
it's shit quality
go to the
too.
rehearsal on Friday. What I'm gonna do? I'll record it for you.
Oh, so that's why you're not going to be at softball on Friday. Okay. Well, I'll cover the mini turtles. I think the plan is that I got it all worked out. All right. We are, as always, presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. We are in the Channel Seed Studios. Get those lawns in tip-top shape. Beautiful lawn time right now here in the great state of Iowa. Them dadgum Kaburski brothers will do that for you. Got Kaburski's coming over. Had a couple of cone flowers die from the old landscape last year. Coming to replace them today. So I'll tell them you guys said hi. Let me do that?
Yeah. Tell them we said hello. I love those dadgum Kaburskis.
All right. So Trump golfed with Greg Sankey, eh?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about this. Trump's had a hell of a weekend. We got the LA stuff. We've got Elon Gate, and now he's golfing with Greg Sankey.
That's true. Yeah, that has been a jam-packed weekend for the Trumpster. Golfed with Sankey yesterday and Notre Dame's athletic director, trying to, I guess, I don't know. Like, did Trump call this? Did they call this? I don't know. But we've still got a bunch of problems.
Sports jacket when he golfs?
It certainly appears so.
That seems to be really, like, constraining.
This picture was from 10 years ago. I think it was at one of his tournaments. I don't know if he was actually golfing in this.
Okay. So
this wasn't. These weren't
all right.
from.
Sorry, I thought this was like live. My apologies.
These guys go way back, apparently.
Yeah,
though,
Pete Bavacqua, who's the Notre Dame athletic director, used to be the CEO of PGA of America. So he has a long-standing relationship with Trump. So who knows? You know, if those guys go in and pitch him on something, he could still come in and try to intervene somehow. And again, I'm all for any kind of help. We need help. I don't care who it's from.
Here's the one issue I have with just Trump in general is it kind of feels like the guy will just kind of go with wherever the wind's blowing that day. I would love to know what Sankey was trying to get in his head yesterday.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like to know that too. That's why it's good that we at least had. It wasn't just Sankey, right?
Yeah.
You had a guy that's not even in a conference.
Yeah. But we don't need to go from 0 to 100 here. Let's ease into this thing a little bit.
But this comes on the heels of the settlement finally going through.
Yes.
Finally, this settlement has been passed. And we've talked about it ad nauseum. This was expected. This is not surprising. But I'd like to get your take on where do you think we're going to be 2 years from now? How will this have played out?
Well, I think this is what will happen. Without getting too much into I don't think our audience needs us to like recap what the settlement is. Right?
No, I think we're all pretty well aware that it's each athletic department gets $20.5 million to spend on their athletes.
I think that this will be a situation where everybody's going to say the right thing at the beginning. We are going to abide by this clearinghouse, yada, yada, yada. I think that it will take a matter of months for bad actors to step up and start pushing everything. Not listening to this clearinghouse. I know they say that they're going to sign these things and whatever, but what happens when state governments start suing and that type of a deal? So while I'm not ready to, like, I think this is better than nothing. Like, I'm glad that they're trying to do something, but I've been in college athletics for 20 years, and there's never been a setup where people don't try and cheat. Like, they're always going to try and cheat. And they've literally never in the history of college athletics not tried to cheat. So I guess my skepticism comes from there's more money involved in this than ever before. Why would they stop trying to cheat now?
And that's where I'm at for the most part. We need to try it.
Yeah,
something
we
like
have
this
to
needed
try
to
it.
happen.
Can't do what we're doing now.
I don't think it's going to work. I think in 2 years from now, this could be something completely different. Or it's just everybody, if you're not cheating, you're not winning. So what's going to happen is if you're not finding ways to spend well above and beyond the $20.5 million, you're going to fall behind. Either you find some crazy ways to do it legally, or I think more likely you're going to have to break the rules. You're going to have to at least bend the rules. And I read a bunch of articles on this over the weekend, some columns. Gary Parrish wrote a really good column for CBS over the weekend. And what is interesting is that this Deloitte, the clearinghouse, it's called NIL Go. And apparently, all NIL Go is going to do is look at the contract to decide whether or not that, and we're talking NIL above and beyond the $20.5 million. All they're going to do is look at the contract. They are not going to enforce the contract. So you could just say, okay, we are going to give, let's just say, Taman Lipsy $1 million from Fred's fireworks stand because he's going to make 200 appearances throughout the year. Doesn't matter if he ever goes.
Oh, okay.
They don't check on
follow
that.
through.
Yeah, there's no. All that matters. Okay, in the contract. Okay, this is what it says. Is that fair market value? Okay, if he's going to appear 200 times, maybe they're going to get their money's worth. They don't have to ever follow through and do anything. So that's going to be one of the big problems.
Huge.
And
they also, it's like these NIL deals in New York City are different than Des Moines, Iowa. Like, is there any discretion?
Yeah, I don't know how you go about that. I don't. Your Audie Crooks Fareway deals. But at the same time, I think a player is a lot more valuable to a city like Ames in Iowa than a football player at Rutgers could be to New York City. Like, they don't
totally
give a shit up there.
Yeah, right.
The
LA
Northeast does
and
not
like
care
USC.
about football.
Yeah.
And yeah, Los Angeles. Like, I don't see how this can possibly work. I think that some schools are going to continue to shake down fans for money so that they don't have to pay the full $20.5 million. I think that maybe even a place like Iowa State is going to do that. They might not put the full thing in. They're going to get donations from fans to try to not have to pay that.
Well, even if they're not directly asking for donations, like, prices will go up, and that's what it's going to.
I just saw an article this morning that 2 power conference schools have just signed deals with private equity.
That's coming.
I think the Sports Business Journal had that out this morning.
I'll bet you in 2 years, the Big 12 will have a naming rights to it.
So right now,
the Big 12 presented by Amazon Prime.
The main reason I don't think this is going to work is because I don't think you're going to be able to tell these people that you can't give a player money for any specific reason. And I think, these schools are supposed to sign these contracts that say, well, yeah, we're going to follow all these rules. We're not going to sue. All it takes is one Ohio State or one Texas saying we're not doing it. And that's that. Right now, the big-time schools are spending 3 times that much, more than that, 4 times that much, 4 times. If right now they're going to say you can spend $20 million on next year's athletes at your school. The biggest schools right now, Texas, Ohio State, they're spending $80 million already. They're not going back on that. These players aren't going to take a pay cut. The number for a quarterback in the portal is not going to go down. And how are you going to promise these guys the money? Like a blue chip quarterback in the transfer portal is going to want X. $5 million, okay? You can't just say, like, how do you sign him? Okay, $5 million. That's not all coming from the school. It can't, because you only have 20.5 for the entire athletic department. How are you going to guarantee that you can line up these real NIL contracts? The kid's not going to come the kid's only going to come if it's guaranteed. He's not going to come if you say, well, if you work hard and you make some appearances and you do some sponsorships, we could get you up to $3 million. It might work for a 4-star, not a blue chip.
So wasn't there the option, though, for the players to, opt in to selling their NIL naming rights to this? Won't these big-time players opt to not do that so they can get more?
I think
it's
they'll
possible.
double dip. They could, Matt. I think they're going to find a way to. Good question.
They're going to find a way, and it's going to it's going to it's going to bring back cheating, because at least the last 4 years there was no cheating, because anything was fine. It was just market value. That's what it was. It kept going up, but it was fair.
It's my favorite.
It wasn't sustainable.
Iowa fans were accusing Alabama of tampering with Caden Proctor after they tampered with Caden Proctor.
Yeah, I mean,
like, everybody's tampering. I don't know.
So I think 2 years from now, we're going to be in a very similar spot. It's going to be a shit show. It's not going to work.
I just don't know how.
At least now the schools are having to pay these kids something.
But at least, like, all right, this Deloitte. Okay, let's go back to this for a second, because this is what I'm trying to wrap my mind around. Like, I don't know how it's physically possible, unless it's like a. So for fans who don't know this, like, when the NCAA, say what you want about it, but this is how it works. They have compliance officers that are employed by all of these schools that live in the town and work in the town, and they are there to make sure rules are being followed, etc. Like, this Deloitte, like, do you know how hard it's going to be to track every NIL deal across the country?
And that's why they're not going to follow through on whether or not somebody, comes through on their promise.
They can talk up this guy who they hired to, this seems like such a massive, you need to make the players employees. We need to end the facade of the amateurism thing. It sucks for a lot of people, I know. So they need to have a union.
Yeah.
And we just need to treat it. But I personally believe that trying to make this like, oh, well, the NFL does this is not the right way to do it. Like, that's not the right way of thinking. That's not what college fans want. And who knows, that could ultimately be what pushes this thing over the limit. And
if you could just snap your fingers today and say, okay, what I say goes from here on out. This is the best way to do it. How would you do it?
I would break up all the conferences and make it geographical again. So we would have the
I'm not talking about realignment.
No,
I'm talking about
that's part of my
paying
bigger
the players
plan, though, because I think we've gotten so absorbed with money that all of this stuff comes down to money, right? Absolutely every conversation we're having here, and the only reason we blew up the regional leagues is because of these stupid TV deals and money. Well, why are the players and their lawyers going, hey, we need more? It's because the television dollars went so freaking high. It's because we started paying the coaches $10 million a year, and the quarterback coach is making $2 million a year, and now we got general managers that are making $2 million a year. So, like, to me, like, that's what it ultimately comes back to. Mm-hmm. And then you find a way to make them employees of some, even if it's not like a technical but they need to have a union so they have a seat at the table. And then that helps keep a lot of these lawyers and these people out of it if they are represented. That's a long way of saying it, but that's what I would do. Like, I'm with you. Like, you have to try this because they put so much into it, and I understand the way they're pushing this, but I have very little faith in this system, that this honor system of all the schools are going to sign off on it. Okay.
I have no faith.
Yeah, you really trust Tennessee?
No.
All the shit that they've pulled.
And you know what? I look even more at schools like Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Because they found their path in this new era. They've got their multi-billionaire who's willing to fund stuff. We finally have a leg up on some of the others. We're really going to give that back? Bullshit.
Yeah, they're paying softball pitchers $1 million, as Nick points out in the comments.
We are presented today, and as always, by our friends at Freedom Tire. Go to freedomtire.com where you can check out all of their locations across the Des Moines Metro. I like the one in Altoona. Maddie, have you gone to Freedom Tire in Altoona yet?
No, I got that little sticker on my car. I'm just counting down to the next time I need an oil change, and I'll be there.
There you go, baby.
Can you schedule online there? Can you schedule, or do you just walk in?
I reckon you can do it online. Yeah.
Okay. Call them up, maybe.
Weird car moment over the weekend. We were driving the convertible.
You have a convertible?
Yeah, I've had a convertible for 7 years. We got it right when we moved down here.
Driving around in John Boyd's car.
I hate this.
So, driving to go get coffee yesterday morning. My wife's driving. I'm in the passenger seat.
Wait a minute. Your wife's driving?
Yeah, she drives. She's the one who drives.
I hate this bastard.
Wait a minute.
Everywhere we go, she drives.
That's like a huge pet peeve of mine.
Why?
Why do you let your wife drive?
Because I'm not a misogynist.
I'm not a misogynist either. But
Clearly
don't
you are. I'm a feminist. No, she loves driving. Like she would rather drive than be in the passenger seat, and I really don't care. So, and
I'm driving the bus.
I'm driving the bus. So we're just driving down the street here in our neighborhood, and we got the windows down, and all of a sudden, I hear this like clang, and then a. And I look over, and the passenger side mirror is gone.
Oh, no.
It just fell off. Only the mirror part.
Oh, she didn't hit anything?
No! The thing just fell off and shattered into a billion pieces on the street. She's like, should we stop? It's like, what? There's nothing we could do. They're like little pieces of sand. They're so small. We didn't have anything to scrape it up with or sweep it up with. So we just kept going. I wish I had a Freedom Tire because I guarantee I could go in there and they would tell me what to do.
They take good care of you.
So I went and I Googled 2014 Audi A5 Quattro passenger side mirror.
Wait, you got an Audi?
Yeah, it's an Audi. And I ordered a mirror that's coming by Tuesday. So Thursday I'll let you know if I can get this mirror put back on.
Are you going to make your wife attach it?
No. I'm going to try to do it. I don't know like if there's like a sticky substance on the back of it that it could just stick it inside the mirror or what? Or if I'm going to have to use like super glue?
There's got to be like screws.
There's no screws. It's flat. There's nothing there. Like it's not a hole. What's left is just a sheet, like a flat. There's no bolts. It's just like it was sticking onto it and it fell off.
Sounds pretty cheap for an Audi.
I know. It does. My wife hates that car. Hates it.
One time I backed out of my driveway and I clipped the garage door side with the side mirror and it just busted off and I had to replace it myself. It's not that hard. You'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, Luke says you can pop it right back on. It's plastic. I don't know.
My grandma, this was the last time she got to drive. God rest her soul. She, I don't know, she's out running errands. And she called us and told us that somebody shot at her. This was in Clarinda. So
yeah.
All right, Grandma. She drove into a mailbox, like just sideswiped a mailbox.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Yeah,
you're saying that you guys took her license away after this?
Yeah. She was driving into mailboxes.
Do you think that she knew she was driving?
She thought she was shot at.
Oh my! So she wasn't just making that up.
No,
she really thinks she was shot at.
Yeah, that was the last time she ever drove.
Oh my God!
I'm just glad she didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
You know, like goddamn, you could drive into a
South Park episode about old people driving. They like turned it into a like a horror movie. Because old people out driving and just killing people left and right. It's really funny.
All right. A new debate for you. So, James, all these Big Ten coaches are now out politicking for the 4-team guaranteed bids for the Big Ten. This is clearly pretty. I don't know if it's like the Big Ten telling them, or it very well could just be these Big Ten beat writers are asking their prospective coaches because it's so newsy right now. But this was James Franklin, I believe, on Friday. And I thought this was interesting. He goes, it's funny because I think there's all these complaints about the BCS, but then we go to this. And I think it goes back to really my answer is the problem is everybody voting and everybody involved in the process, whether you want to be biased or not, we are all biased. I think in a lot of ways you can make the argument a formula could be better, but we didn't love the formula. So we went to this other system. And it got me to thinking, should humans be involved in the playoff selection process? Because he's kind of insinuating there. I don't think it's what he's saying, but you could take that and go, well, the BCS was better. Let the computers make the decision.
I hated the BCS because it only put 2 teams together, and we needed more. We needed a 4-team or an 8-team or whatever. I didn't hate that they used computers, but I think it has to be a combination of everything. Yes, everyone has their biases. That's why you need a really diverse set of people on the committee. Not just a bunch of SEC Big Ten people. It needs to be Group of 5, ACC, Big 12. You need a bunch of different heads in the room from all different spaces of college football. But I would not want to leave it to a computer model, because then that's going to make it so much easier for the SEC and the Big Ten to go next level in manipulating the sport, because all of a sudden they have all the power in scheduling. They're not going to schedule the Big 12 and the ACC anymore. They're just going to play each other, and they're just going to manipulate the computer rankings. It's a lot like we see in college basketball with the net ranking. All of these big-time schools, they don't want to play Drake in Northern Iowa anymore, because what does that do for your net? Yep. Now, you're still using humans on the selection committee, but they're looking at that data. Imagine if it was just that data. Imagine if it was just the net ranking that you went on in college basketball to get into the tournament. That would be horrible for the sport. So I still think you need people in the room.
Yeah, I couldn't say it much better. I mean, we've seen this, as you point out, in basketball. That's exactly what the Big Ten and the SEC would do. And I also think, too, it's like we just got proof of it last week. We're just going off the computers, that FBI thing that you pulled out.
Oh, the FBI, yeah. So
how many of the top 15 were in the SEC? And it's just like, well, that's just what the computer thinks. Well, like, there's got to be discretion. There's got to be gray area in
there
every
still has to
conversation.
be an eyeball test involved. You still have to use your eyeballs and human minds and human discussion. But you can't just throw a bunch of bigwigs in a room. You also can't just throw a bunch of people in a room that don't know college football. Like, we've seen that so many times. Like, what was it? Remember when Condoleezza Rice was on the...
She was on the first committee, yeah.
Selection committee? What? This should be college football people. I was going to say
I would let Vegas have a seat.
Well, then you're going to skew it more toward better teams, and it's going to be less on deserving teams.
Well, I mean by
they're going to go on power rankings and.
Well, it should be part of the formula.
Well, yeah, part of it, but you also have to earn it. You also have to win your games. Like that, Vegas would have put more SEC teams in the playoff last year.
I see what you're saying.
You also have to go out there and earn it. What happens on the field matters. Yeah, Oklahoma was better one day on the field than one of the best teams in the country, that doesn't mean that they're better than that team, but they won the game, right? Who'd they beat? Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, Alabama probably 9 times out of 10 beats them, but that's why you play the game. The results have to matter. They have to. If the results don't matter, then you just use the preseason FPI and you just have your little invitational.
Which is kind of what they're pushing for, really. I mean, they're not saying that, but these Big Ten coaches, though, you can tell are really on the defensive here after the whole SEC.
I think they're getting
propaganda
pressure
machine.
from the commissioner because the commissioner wants the play-in games.
Yeah.
And I think the SEC sees, we could be just fine with a 5+11. We might get more bids because of that. But the Big Ten wants this.
Because the Big Ten, as it stands, is not going to be getting 4 teams in the playoff very often, as it stands. Now,
not every year, no. Like
USC picks it up, there are possibilities down the road when you look where the schedules are going to work out. But the problem, as we've discussed, is just there's just so top heavy. There's just not as much depth where you're going to get an Ole Miss, you're going to get a, that type of a deal, unless you have them guaranteed. All right, I think that's all I have with college football today. I'm really ready for something to happen at this point. NBA Finals sucked last night. We don't really even need to talk about that, other than how horrible the ratings have been. Maddie pulled this up for you. Called this, which I don't really get, but
Game 1 was the lowest rated Game 1 on record. The record, the numbers only go back to 1988, and that's a
terrible sign for this league, though, isn't it? Like the Super Bowl, everybody will just watch because it's the Super Bowl, because people are just football.
The NBA is not the NFL.
Man, it shows you, doesn't it? These are exciting teams. But I'm more interested in this final because of Halliburton. But even if not, I think it's interesting that it's Indiana and Oklahoma City. To me, that is more appealing than the Knicks versus the Lakers right now. But I'm a rare breed. I'm not. What does it say about the league, though? That you're what? So you got the
league is driven by superstars.
Is this
the LeBrons, the Stephs? There are no superstars.
Well, those guys are all old now,
right? And so who's going to be? You've got Anthony Edwards. Wemby is still young. I think Wemby's a guy that could really drive ratings once he gets going and the Spurs get going again. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's not doing it. He's the MVP. He's not really that interesting to watch. And he's not that big of a star. He's not that recognizable.
I'll give you something to think about. If the Fever are playing definitely the Sky, what if they were playing who won the WNBA last year?
I think it was the Liberty.
Yeah, the Liberty. Say it's the Fever and the Liberty in the WNBA Finals Game 1. Would it draw a bigger number?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Think about
if Caitlin Clark is playing.
Yeah. That is a staggering statistic you give someone 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's Caitlin Clark it's a different animal. If she's not in it, no, it's
Correct.
not even close.
If it's the Sky in the Liberty.
But that goes to the stars driving everything. Caitlin Clark is the star among all stars. And all you have in the NBA Finals is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Tyrese Halliburton. And for as incredible as Halliburton has been at the end of games, he doesn't really stand out as a superstar throughout the entire game. He's not that consistent. I mean, look at the numbers last night. Look at the numbers in, what was it, the game they lost, was it Game 5 against the Knicks, where he was a total no-show. Tyrese is among the most clutch players in NBA history already. But I don't know that he's a superstar because he doesn't do it for the whole 48 minutes.
It would be interesting to get your definition of superstar, because I would argue that he is a superstar only in the sense that his personality plus that makes him one. Like, he's very marketable.
By the way, the WNBA Game 5 final last year on ESPN drew 3.3 million.
And that was the Liberty and who?
Lynx.
The Lynx.
And Game 1 was what? 7 million on ABC?
It was 8. I think it was around 8 million,
okay.
yeah.
The last night's number is going to suck, I bet.
Oh,
people tune that thing off in the second quarter.
Yes. I don't see Tyrese Halliburton. You poll 100 NBA fans from around the country and ask if Tyrese Halliburton's a superstar, and I would say it's going to be less than 10% would say yes.
I disagree with that.
Well, how many superstars are in the league?
10?
No, see, I would only go 5. I mean, I wouldn't like.
Again, I think there's
a difference between
definition?
A superstar and a star.
So you're
LeBron James
Steph,
is a superstar.
See, I would put them at a different tier. I would say they're megastars. They're like global. Tyrese isn't there.
No,
like Steph and LeBron, those guys are global, like icons, really. Which that's really hard for anyone to get into. Like, to me, like a superstar in the league, he absolutely is one.
See, I wouldn't put him there right now because he's just like, I think to be a superstar, you also when you pull up the stats, like you're the best at a bunch of different things. You're at least top 5 in a bunch of different things, and I don't think Tyrese is that kind of player because
funny.
He tends to disappear at times. He doesn't. He's more of a prototypical point guard, right?
I just love the comments.
He makes everybody better around him, but sometimes that doesn't jive with like superstar status.
You see his guy's own shoe now, though, right? These Pumas.
Those look horrible.
I like them.
Pink?
Yeah.
Ugh. God, you're such a misogynist.
He's a feminist. What are you talking about?
It's so funny. The comments are so predictable. All the Hawk fans are saying that I'm a Cyclone homer, and all the Iowa State fans are saying that your Hawk is showing.
And I'm trying to think of this more nationally.
Well, and I don't have a beat national because I don't really watch the NBA that much, and I don't do what you do for a living. But I'm more of like as far as an NBA person, I'm like the Instagram league guy. And Tyrese is hot, man. He's constantly on McAfee. Like, he's on WWE. Like, he is out there.
Well, that's going to be my point. Like, the clip of him hitting that game winner in game 1 had like 15 million views on X.
So,
okay,
but
this isn't a true. This isn't a true.
We're defining it differently.
Okay.
Like,
well, how's this? How about top selling NBA jerseys?
Okay, give us the list.
Luka Doncic 1, Steph Curry 2, LeBron James 3, Jason Tatum 4, Jalen Brunson 5, Victor Wembanyama 6, Anthony Edwards 7, Ja Morant 8, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 9, Nikola Jokic 10, Giannis 11, LaMelo Ball 12, Kevin Durant 13, Devin Booker 14, Jaylen Brown 15. No Tyrese Halliburton anywhere.
That's a good point. I would argue a lot of those are skewed just because they're in big markets at the top.
Sure. A lot of that is. If Tyrese Halliburton was on the New York Knicks, this might be a totally different story.
I would agree.
He's on the Pacers.
I'm surprised that Gilchrist-Alexander is even that high, to be honest. Although I tell you, those OKC fans are nuts. They're like college fans.
Yeah.
Like, they support it at a different level.
I think that Tyrese's star has grown tenfold in these playoffs. And you know what? Maybe if they finish this and win the title, it's going to be a different story next year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to lose in 5 or 6 games.
Do you think that if Gilchrist-Alexander and Tyrese Halliburton, they're both walking in a shopping mall somewhere,
Ooh. Well, see, I don't think SGA is a superstar either.
So no, I know you don't, but who's more recognizable to a random sports fan?
Right now, I bet it's Tyrese.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't think SGA is recognizable at all.
Yeah.
I think Tyrese is.
See, and that's where I think you and me might be defining superstar differently.
Well, I'm only gonna allow, like, for one league to have about 5 superstars.
That's fair. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, LeBron is a superstar, megastar. Sure, he's above everybody else. Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, and there's a handful of other guys. I mean, Giannis. Giannis is a superstar.
Yeah,
delivered a championship to Milwaukee, very recognizable. Nikola Jokic, 3-time MVP. He's a superstar. I mean, I wouldn't even say, like, Jason Tatum. He's not a superstar to me.
Funny though, because like I wouldn't think of Jokic as a superstar. I'd think he's one of the best players.
He's a superstar.
But there's not a lot of.
He is the best player in the NBA.
I'm not denying that. So I think it comes down to your definition of it. Like, I'm thinking more of like your social media profiles and stuff like that don't really have anything to do with the game.
It's everything. It's everything all together. I just I think you'd be surprised at how many NBA fans didn't even consider Tyrese a star until this postseason.
Keith Smith says this in the comments, and I would completely agree with you. Jokic is the Mike Trout of baseball. Like, I mean, Mike Trout could walk into my office right now, and I wouldn't know unless somebody told me, "Hey, Mike Trout's here to see you." You
don't think Jokic is recognizable walking around?
He is, but not like, I don't know. I don't think. Again, my bias against the NBA is probably showing now. But I don't think that I don't know. If you're in an NBA market, it's probably completely. I'm not denying that he's the best player in the world. Like, I'm not denying any of that. I just don't think he has a lot of, like, star pull with him. He might be a superstar on the court.
Halliburton's definitely helping his case with this stardom with all these game-winning shots. So
no doubt. I mean, he is the most clutch player in the NBA, period.
Oh, that was a good conversation. That was fun. Van Woke wants to go long today with our friends from Wealth Charter, Retirement, and Tax. Let's go.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter, Retirement Planning, and Tax.
You can't ever start too soon. I tell young people all the time that if I could do anything, I would start like when I was like 18 years old, putting $10 a week back into the stock market. Our friends at Wealth Charter, Retirement, and Tax can help you guys plan for your financial futures. And Van Winkle was all fired up yesterday. He's like, I want to go long. All right, let's go. What do you got, brother?
I'm getting really tired of Hassel's nonsense in our group chat.
Uh-oh.
Just going off on how he hates baseball. And he can't get back into baseball.
No. It's not that I hate baseball. I just don't give a shit. I don't care.
Hassel, I'm going to take you to a little MLB therapy right now. I'm going to be your MLB therapist, okay?
Okay.
Where did baseball, what happened? Like, why did you feel this way about baseball all of a sudden?
I think it was a convergence of a bunch of different things. The Cubs finally won a World Series. That was my holy grail.
Okay.
And at the same time, this new social media age, this new age where things need to happen faster. We just talked about the NBA. People bitching because the NBA season is way too long. The baseball season is twice as long. And the games last longer. It's just, to me, there's no urgency in the game. There's really no excitement until September. And I was done spending 3 to 3.5 hours to watch one of 162 games. I just didn't care. I didn't care enough. It didn't mean enough to me. I loved it as a kid. Baseball was my favorite sport growing up. But I don't think I'll ever go back because I don't know. Once you lose that, I don't know how you get it back. Like, I can't name more than a couple players on my favorite team.
If you walked
the
into
Cubs.
Wrigley,
it's different. If you're at the ballpark.
Well, I'm saying, could that get you back? Because, man,
No.
when I went to Atlanta last year,
No.
they were terrible. But it was my first game ever in Atlanta, and I had goosebumps like all over my body. Like, and it sucked me. I have like 3 Braves books that I'm gonna read. Like, as curious. All right, go ahead.
No, I think I would enjoy the day, but I don't even like. I wouldn't care if they won or lost.
I think you need to give baseball another chance. The changes they've made with the pitch clock, the game moves much quicker.
Completely agree.
And I think there is enough action in the game now that can keep you tuned in, okay?
But I think I'm too far gone. There's too many people that I've never heard of. Like, Anthony Rizzo is done already. Anthony Rizzo was a star when I stopped watching the game in 2017 or so. Like, these guys are done.
But
Chris Bryant, it's gone. This is a bygone.
Okay.
My era is a bygone era. I don't give a shit about.
Steps.
What's the guy's name? PCA?
Pete Crow Armstrong going to be an all-star?
Pete Crow Armstrong. I don't care.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's fun. But let's just take baby steps, Hassel, okay? Let's take step 1 here, okay? Can you promise me you'll watch a baseball game?
No. Not unless you paid me a lot of money. We've had these
The
conversations.
Cubs are fun
at
this
work.
year. The Cubs are one of the most fun teams to watch.
Where, like, a producer will ask, and like people just sitting around. Because most people in the newsroom are like me. They don't watch baseball anymore. How much money would it take you to sit down and watch a Diamondbacks Padres game without a phone in your hand? You have to sit there and watch the whole game. And for me, I need 5 figures to do it. It's got to have to be at least $10,000 for me to sit there for 3 hours and watch Padres Diamondbacks without a phone. Now, that's not my favorite team. For a Cubs game, to sit down and watch a Cubs game, the Cubs are playing the Cardinals, rivalry game.
Could you bet on the game?
No. Can't bet on the game. Don't have your phone. If I'm going to do that tonight, I might do it for $5,000.
I would do it for
one of the tough
100.
parts about baseball is you're right. The season is too long. I wish they would cut it back. And there's also a lot of roster movement where there's guys coming up and down you just never heard of. But to me, I'm a baseball junkie. I like that type of stuff. But let me again, Hassel. Let's step 1. Let's just watch a game.
I'm not going to do it.
Please.
I have
Just
not
try
watched
it.
baseball in like 8 years.
The Cubs are going to be in the playoffs this year. Like you said, you
means
don't
nothing
start
to me.
caring till the playoffs.
No. I don't think the games are interesting until the playoffs.
Matt, I think you're missing the big picture, in my opinion, on why baseball is still valuable. Like, to me, at least.
Yeah, go for it.
It's
Go on.
because it's like it's like a daily soap opera for me. Even if I don't watch the games, like, I can follow, like, shit. Like, as a Braves fan, it's just like, who's hurt now? Like, right? Like, I'm just following the injury tracker.
Yeah, but you can't have Hassel's mindset. You have to have some level of intrigue and
I don't have any.
some
Yeah,
drive.
and you gotta, like,
I have no interest.
to really like baseball, I believe, to like really like this is different than casually going to a game or watching a random game on a Friday night. You have to know a little bit about the farm system. You know, that's how it, like, you really, these people become these super fans.
Yeah,
it's
listen
like,
to a
they're going to
podcast.
call this guy up and, like, they're going to make
Yeah.
a trade. That guy's getting a prospect, you know.
Hassel, you're always looking for more podcasts. Listen to a Cubs podcast or something once a
No.
week. Get the updates on your team.
So
Stay
Dan
locked
says baseball is is not just about the game. It's the history, the culture. It's America's pastime. It's a slow summer burn.
Yeah.
I care about the past. Like, you want to talk 90s baseball? Hell yeah. I'm all in. Sosa McGuire home run chase. I loved the Yankees Red Sox doc that covered the rivalry from like 01, 02, 03, 04. I love all that stuff because that's when I cared. But I do not care about present day baseball, and I don't think that it will ever come back. I just don't. There's only a handful of things I care about now. It's college basketball, it's college football, it's NFL, it's major championship golf. Like, those are the sports I actually care about. And
baseball is never cutting that season short because that's its biggest form of revenue.
Absolutely not.
I'll
Because
throw
their
in
TV
one more
ratings are
thing that
terrible.
really helps with, especially for me, I don't know about you, Williams, and probably for Cubs fans too, is you got to have good announcers. You got to have a good radio or TV voice that keeps you engaged in a game. The Giants have some of the best. The Braves have some good ones. The Cubs are great.
The
Giants are great.
have
you had
great
to
announcers
you
for
did
a
this
while.
just to fuck with me today, Matt. I'm not stupid.
He's all fired up.
Bigger, better, bolder. Built by Kelderman Manufacturing.
You cut me off, you son of a bitch.
Just got my broom here.
Wait, this is your bigger, better, bolder too?
Gotta
The
broom
Giants
off.
sweeping the Braves?
I just need to dust off my
you
camera.
son
A
of a
little
bitch.
dusty here. Now the Giants swept the Braves this weekend. No big deal.
It's been a rough go for the Braves, man. I mean, it is tough sledding out there.
Couple walk-offs, a walk-off wild pitch. We did it all in this series, Williams.
And this was after the Braves had that just dynamite blown.
Yeah. They had a 10 to
run
4
inning.
lead
Oh,
to the D-back.
my balls are just swollen from the last 5 days.
Nori's happy about it.
Jeff from KCCI, is a bigger Braves fan than me. That poor bastard. I thought he was done on Thursday after he was so.
Oh, I'd be fuming.
Good for you. Hey, I'm gonna get this is the second time I've done this. So Amazon Prime is doing some really good work with its sports. This Earnhardt documentary, I finished it over the weekend. This is one of the best sports docs I've ever seen. So I wanted to give it my bigger, better, bolder. But I actually thought it could be a good playoff of this baseball. Because, is this just because I love NASCAR? Or, Hassel, in your opinion, is he that cultural icon where non-NASCAR fans could actually open their minds and sit down and enjoy this thing? Because I think this is a phenomenal documentary.
Yeah, I'm not a NASCAR fan, but I would watch it. I think it's if you like it this much and you thought you knew everything about
I thought it was,
Dale Sr., I'll give it a watch. How many episodes is it?
They're 4, but they're pretty short. They're like
Okay.
40, 45 minutes long. So,
By the way, that reminds me, while we're talking about stuff to watch, do not watch the show Adolescence. It's horrible. It will draw you in on the first episode, and there's only, I believe, 4 episodes, just like the Earnhardt one. Absolutely nothing happens the rest of it. Don't watch it. The last episode, my wife and I, it was like running a marathon to get through that thing. We were so relieved when it was over. Do not watch Adolescence on Netflix.
Yeah, don't you feel too like when you start one of these, you got to finish them?
Sometimes, but I've reached a point where if I don't like something, I got to the last season of, what was that soccer show that everybody loved? Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah.
It just, I got halfway through the last season. I was like, this is
The last
enough.
season
I can't
sucked.
take it. I can't take this anymore. This is not the show that I started watching. It's terrible.
It all changed for me when they all got on the meth that one night, and
Just that weird, the assistant coach goes out and then they had any show that has interlude episodes in the middle of a season that have no bearing on the story.
Oh, I hate that.
Terrible. The Righteous Gemstones did that a couple of times this last season, and not a fan. Not a fan of that shit. But I will give Earnhardt a watch. I'm going to go off the radar a little bit and give my triple B to the French Open. The French Open owned the weekend.
Is that tennis?
We were talking baseball. We were talking NBA. The French Open was really good on Saturday and Sunday. Yesterday, it was all over my timeline. Alcaraz and Sinner in a match that went over, 5.5 hours, almost 6 hours. Alcaraz coming back to win. And the day before, Coco Gauff, my neighbor, Coco Gauff,
Friend
winning
of the program?
her second major. Coco.
Where does Coco live? She live in
Del Rey. Yeah, she's from Del Rey.
I'll come see her
My
here in a couple
daughter was
weeks.
watching Coco Melon. That's not related, right?
Not related
Coco
to Coco
Gauff.
Gauff.
Okay.
I've seen that documentary on Alcatraz. That guy.
We're bringing it back. Alcatraz. That's where Trump's going to throw all those illegal immigrants that are making all that noise in L.A. He's going to ship them up to upstate to Alcatraz.
Oh man, don't even get Van Winkle going on that
You
story.
want to
It's his
stay in
home
America?
state.
We'll send you to Alcatraz.
I
look,
I
I'm
didn't
not
even know the French Open was happening.
I'm not a tennis fan.
Uh,
I tuned in for. There was nothing else going on. It was Saturday morning. I tuned in to see Coco golf. A lot of it had to do with the fact that she's my neighbor, but it was really good. It was good. Evan wants a battle between Simone Biles and he wants us to talk about Simone Biles against Riley Gaines. Yeah,
That's
that was
not
probably
happening.
that was one of the battles of the weekend.
we had Trump, Elon.
We've had a lot lately. We've had a lot.
Can I say we don't do politics much, but did anyone ever think that the Trump Elon thing would end in another way?
No. No.
I mean, come on.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
That was never going to be these guys just riding off into the sunset, right? Like
Van Wilk's going to go buy a Tesla now.
It's fun. That's why I love this show. It's bebop and scat all over the place. Let's give some love to our friends at the Iowa Event Center. They've got a lot going on this summer. Matt always is taking an opportunity to pump up the Kings of the West tour. Was
Can't
Matt
wait for
Rife?
this.
That was last night, right?
That was Sunday, yeah.
Sunday,
Yep.
yeah. So we got that one done. I heard that was a great crowd.
Did you hear the new comedian they just announced?
No, I didn't. Who do we got?
Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy is coming. You know Fluffy? The
I
big.
don't. No.
Yeah, I
You
know him.
Fluffy?
I just don't do. I love stand-up comedy, but I don't like dig too deep into it. I kind of have like 5, and then that's about it.
Yeah, they're on a run with announcing comedians to Wells Fargo.
That's
Arena.
interesting.
It's real popular lately.
I've never been to a stadium show like that. I've seen Seinfeld at the Civic Center.
I mean, Shane Gillis was just the highest selling comedian ever to come through Wells Fargo Arena in a 20-year history. So,
And couldn't we draw a direct line to like Netflix and how that's helped that industry?
yeah, Black and I were actually talking about that on All Access. I think it's a combination of the Netflix and even just like the comedians that have their own podcasts. They're on social media posting their clips all the time. So it's definitely contributed to that.
I also think that we're not making movies and shows as edgy as they were 20 and 30 years ago. And so it's giving these comedians who aren't afraid to say anything a platform and really making them more appreciated.
Well, it's all good stuff, man.
Well, if you want to come party with me on my birthday at Kings of the West,
Yeah.
Wells Fargo Arena,
Boom, boom,
Get your
boom,
tickets now.
boom, 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 boom.
highvtix.com.
Let's do it. Well, good show today, fellas. Good show today. We are presented, as always, by Fareway Meat and Grocery. We would ask you to like, subscribe, review, but only if you're going to say something positive. Don't go on there and just flame us. Why would you do that? For Maddie Van Winks, for Chris Hassel, I'm Chris Williams. We will be back on Thursday. We have Overthinking today at noon. We have Murph and Andy at 1 here on Iowa Everywhere.